Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda, Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar, Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, and Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga ki Jai, and Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, and Jai Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai. Today we are continuing our Siksastakam course, Siksastakam series of talks, sharing about the content of just these 8 verses that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu especially composed, and which he relished in his highest ecstasy of Krishna Prema. So today we're going to begin, as we maybe began the last few days, to read from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, just 4 verses, so no need to go running to your bookshelf to get the Chaitanya Charitamrita. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so we're actually reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 20, which all of you know by now is the very last chapter in the whole of Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Mahaprabhu has been in extreme ecstasy and he is relishing his own verses, these Siksastakam verses. So we are today on chapter number 5, the second half, because there are only 8. So chapter number 5, sorry, not chapter number 5, verse number 5, because there are only 8 verses. And that 8 verses, and we can say, oh, well, not yet, because in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is first of all giving an introduction, saying, in great humility, considering himself, because this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, capital H. So in great humility, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, considering himself a conditioned soul of the material world, he again expressed his desire to be endowed with service to the Lord. And then he is reciting, or Mahaprabhu is reciting his own verse, the 5th verse of Siksastakam, and we all have our sheets here. I also have a sheet to add to the folder that we have of the Siksastakam verses, and we can read together or say together for those who know. 5th verse, slowly together. Ayi nanda-tanuja kiṅkaraṁ patitaṁ viṣame bhavāmbudhau kṛpayā tava pāda-paṅkaja sthita-dhūlī-sadṛśaṁ vicintaya. And then the translation, which I think we have here soon, is found in the Golden Volcano of Divine Love by Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. So we read this translation, which is Mahaprabhu making the prayer, O son of Nanda Maharaj. Son of Nanda Maharaj is Krishna in Vrindavan. O son of Nanda Maharaj, I am your eternal servant, yet because of my own karma, I have fallen into this terrible ocean of birth and death. Accept this fallen soul and consider me a particle of dust at your holy lotus feet. Well, being a British person, I would have preferred the word please was there, because I'm sure that is there in Mahaprabhu's expression, in the sense of, it's a petition, it's a prayer. Please accept this fallen soul and consider me a particle of dust at your holy lotus feet. We cannot demand anything of Krishna. It's a prayer to Krishna. All right, so this is the verse Mahaprabhu not only recited, but he was tasting these verses, relishing these verses. We heard that just before from Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So ruminating, taking them and tasting these verses. And then the next verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but expressing in Bengali, I am your eternal servant, but I forgot your lordship. Now I have fallen into the ocean of nescience, ignorance, and have been conditioned by the external energy. Be causelessly merciful to me by giving me a place within the particles of dust at your lotus feet, so that I may engage in the service of your lordship as your eternal servant. So this is expressed in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And I'll just give you those Bengali 2 verses. So that first one, I am your eternal servant, but I forgot your lordship. Now I have fallen into the ocean of nescience and have been conditioned by the external energy. Tomara nitya dasa mui. Tomara nitya dasa mui. Tomma pashariya. So pashari is forgetting. So tomma pashariya, I have forgotten you, or you I have forgotten. Pariyachan bhavanave maya bandha hoya. And then the next verse, kripa kori koro more pāda-dhūlī-sadṛśaṁ tomara sevaka korun tomara sevana. So being merciful, make me like a particle of dust at your lotus feet, as I am your eternal servant. Let me be engaged in your service. Hare Krishna. And so we've got different aspects to the verse, but the essential part of the verse is that, first of all, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is addressing Krishna as nanda-tanuja, i.e. nanda-tanuja. And Tanuja is the son, Nanda Maharaj is the father. So he's addressing Krishna of Vrindavan, because only in Vrindavan have we got Nanda Maharaj, and as the son of Nanda Maharaj, we've got Krishna. So it's Vrindavan Krishna is being addressed. And so making that petition to him and expressing, I am your eternal servant, but because of my own karma, my own activities in the past, then I have fallen into this terrible ocean of birth and death. And Srila Guru Maharaj, whether it's in a book or not, but we've heard Guru Maharaj saying, we have all betrayed the Lord in the past. That's why we've taken our birth in this material world. We've tried to be separate from him. We've betrayed him. We've done some bad karma. We've done something which is trying to put ourselves at the center instead of the Lord. And this has brought me into this world of birth and death. And this idea that it is a terrible world of birth and death was a little difficult for me to digest when I first came to Krishna consciousness, because we were still mid-20s and looking around and not thinking it is a terrible world. It hasn't been pointed out to us and reminded to us that we died a few years ago, we were in the womb, we were born, we were a baby. We forgot all of these things. We forgot about having to go to school, oh dear, and all those things. And that was, for many, terrible enough, though it wasn't so terrible, I suppose. I mean, for some of us. But anyway, we forget all these things, and we forget that before we took our birth, we died. So we forgot about how terrible it is, leaving the body, all these things. And this whole plane of birth and death is considered that the plus and minus, little bit of enjoyment, the minus side, all the disturbances that come every few years, every few decades, if not during this very lifetime in this body, the big disturbances that come, your plus is very small on the graph, and your minus of so much suffering is very great. And hence the terrible ocean of birth and death. And today we are sitting in a beautiful park. Everything is appearing very beautiful. And in this world, we see a reflection of the beauty which is in Vrindavan, the beauty of the most beautiful place, Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan. But that beauty which we see in this world, it is made up of lives struggling for themselves. Every blade of grass is trying to grow to reach the sun. Every baby tree in some areas are like they had protected areas of nature. You see the small trees, they're all competing to get nourishment so that they can survive at the cost of other trees. So there it is everything is a struggle for survival. And the birds are classic. They eating something, but they're always looking around that something's going to come and eat me, and they're fearful. There's a squirrel that lives out the back. Out the back here. There's a squirrel who comes there, and he comes down, and if you're very quiet and chant your japa nicely, then the squirrel will come and walk all around. But he's always looking. He eats something, looks up around. So this world, we can take, Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. We can take, is told in the scripture, one of 8,400,000 species of life, according to our karma and according to the mentality that we cultivate. It's a leaf from the tree. And so, in this world, this is an ocean of birth and death. Even the beautiful trees, the beautiful everything, the beautiful birds, the beautiful squirrel, let him know he's beautiful. All these things, everything struggling for survival, and they have to die and born, die and born. So this is not our home. The overall plus and minus is, it is a place of suffering. It's a place of correction, a prison house. In London, there was a prison, Holloway Prison. I don't know if it still exists, but I remember the name Holloway Prison. I wasn't inside, I haven't seen it. But, a lot of people go to jail. And a lot of people go to jail just for not paying your taxes. Shameful. Anyhow, a lot of people go to jail. But the prison house is not a place of enjoyment. Everybody knows you want to stay out of prison, really. It's a place where you're going to get some correctional treatment. And that correctional treatment may not be, what you think is good for me, but you're going to get a good slap every now and again if you don't correct your mentality. So this world, we are in that plane of correctional treatment, where we may get a nice cell, something comfortable to sit on, but we're actually, in the clean sense of understanding, we're in the place where it is basically suffering. When we take our treatment properly, when we get correctional, in America they call it correctional facility. I don't think they say jail. Gurudev called it the government guest house, because we've had devotees in the government guest house. But he could be like this. But when you get released, and ideally you're only released when you've got your mentality in the proper place, then you will find you've got freedom, you've got all sorts of things. Relative in the material world, But in the analogy, when we get our freedom from the ocean of birth and death, then we find that there is a wonderful world which is promised by everyone who's seen it, that says, don't keep your mind within this terrible ocean of birth and death, but take it into the land, the upper land, which is the land of dedication. So here in this verse, Mahaprabhu then is saying, because of my own karma, I have come here into this land, into this ocean of birth and death. Somehow I'm floundering around in this ocean. Now we got a body, but flounder into another body, into another body. And it's due to our own karma. No one else is at fault. It's ourselves that have put us here. But Mahaprabhu is saying, I'm not making excuses. I'm not asking anything about my karma. I'm responsible for that. But my prayer is that you may give me even an insignificant place in service to you, my dear Lord, Sri Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, Sri Krishna of Vrindavan, where every step is a dance, every word is a song, where the soil is made of chintamani. So it's even a very high aspiration, in one sense, to be a dust, a particle of dust in that plane. But the mood that, please engage me, please reinstate me in some position of service there, even as a piece of dust. And your feet may walk on me, others' feet may walk on me, the Vaishnava's feet that are there may walk on me. And anyhow, I'll be contributing to the environment of Vrindavan, the soft sand beside the Jamuna River. It all needs some sand. You need sand. So a speck of sand there is contributing to the environment for the satisfaction of Krishna. So in this way, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has composed these verses which he is relishing in the mood of a topmost devotee, and which he is showing as the exemplary prayers for us. And why not make the prayer of a topmost devotee? Why be half-hearted? He's giving us the exemplary prayer, not that, oh, give me this and this, and after that I'll ask you for something else. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us. This is the prayer for us all. So, O son of Nanda Maharaj, I am your eternal servant. This is the nature of the soul. If you take away exploitation, you take away renunciation, what have you got left? Dedication. Dedication to Krishna. Krishna is our origin, and that, in a very clear, simple way, this is the actual nature of us, ourselves, that we are not an exploiter to try to get from others. It's unfair. We, as an exploiter, just to keep one body going, think how many potatoes have sacrificed their lives for you. What to speak of how many goats and fish, if you know, non-veg, you say. And so many times in India, they ask, oh, and somebody says, oh yes, I am veg and non-veg. So the veg part, think how many potatoes and carrots and everything else they all have their life. I mean, this world, if we do not offer our foodstuffs to Krishna, if we do not offer our food, that actually we're going to honor the Lord with all of his creation, it's for him, then we are involved in that karma too. And little more awakening is for the non-veg section, or when in non-veg time in our lives. How many goats have somebody had to kill to maintain this one body? And so karma is karma. And Srila Guru Maharaj says the reaction must come, equal and opposite reaction, just as if I push anything. there must be equal and opposite reaction. And Guru Maharaj also points out that Newton's theory, I mean, he makes theories, and in the world, you've heard from the different devotees, that in this world, theories are theories. But Newton's third theory of every action as an equal and opposite reaction, Guru Maharaj points out, it still stands. Nobody's disproved that one. Some different theories come and go. But in the material world, the theory of conservation of energy stands. The theory of to every action as an equal and opposite reaction stands. So to go another way, so where does all energy come from? It must have come from somewhere, and it's being conserved. It changes from one form to another. It changes from friction to heat, from heat to something else, from something else to something else. But energy is always maintained. Anyway, this is like a side product, but Krishna is wonderful. And the energy of consciousness and beauty, everything is maintained. We are part of Krishna's energy, a tiny spark, tiny drop. And our energy, that is maintained. Krishna says, once having been, ever will be. But what is our position? Our position is as a servitor of the Lord. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us the prayer. O son of Nanda Maharaj, I am your eternal servant. We've already been through all this. This is the end of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So we already know these things. When we digest it and now ruminate on this, I am your eternal servitor. Yet because of my own karma, I have fallen into this terrible ocean of birth and death. Please, I'm adding here to this translation, please accept this fallen soul and consider me a particle of dust at your lotus feet. Petition that we need to be accepted, not that we are going to be qualified and now I'm going to go there, I've been doing all these austerities, this, I'm going to go. But dear Lord, please accept me. Hare Krishna. So we do have some excerpts, and the translators have those excerpts. You know where, it's a secret to everybody else. But the translators have the excerpts. Yes, one of the excerpts, don't know, there are a few in here. Number 5 excerpt is actually the beginning of Sri Sri Prapanna Jivanamritam chapter number 6, which is accepting the guardianship of the Lord. So I'm embracing, officially, embracing the guardianship of the Lord. And this chapter, Guru Maharaj is beginning with this exact verse. We're accepting his guardianship. We're coming. We want to be under his protection. And we know we've got our karma, but we are coming to you, accepting the Lord's guardianship. What I want to do, so the translators, it looks a little long what I put there, but we're only going to read Srila Guru Maharaj's own composition at the beginning, which is verse 1 and 2. They're both together in Prapanna Jivanamritam. This is Guru Maharaj's composition. And then, verse 3, we're going to give Srila Guru Maharaj's introduction to this verse, i.e., nanda-tanuja kiṅkaraṁ, this verse. And then I'm just going to read Guru Maharaj's introductions, because it's a little like Chaitanya Charitamrita in many places where Mahaprabhu is speaking, etc. We've just been reading here the Ramananda Samvad, where Ramananda Roy is speaking, made to speak by Mahaprabhu, as it were. But they speak, they say something, and then give a quote from the scripture, usually, often, to back up that I'm telling you this in English, for instance. But quoting from the scripture and saying why I'm saying this, and then giving a quote from the scripture. So Srila Guru Maharaj is giving his aphorisms, is an explanation of something, and then he gives a verse from the scripture, carefully collected, to express that. But if we see in these, what we've selected here, just the aphorisms, without any like proof and evidence, but here we are, Guru Maharaj is telling us, he's giving us the path of beautiful devotional life. So this is a little tip for the translators, actually. So the beginning of the chapter, so we can say, Shri Shri Prapana Jivanamritam Ki Jai, and Srila Guru Maharaj, the author Ki Jai, collector and author of the aphorisms. And Guru Maharaj is beginning, well, Hey Krishna, Pahi Mam. Okay, some of us, while walking, are saying Krishna, 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 hey, and then etc. Krishna, 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 Pahi Mam. So, hey Krishna, please protect me. My dear Lord, kindly accept me as your own. And then Guru Maharaj translated is, such a prayer, as well as a prayer to obtain Krishna as one's Lord and Master, is the supreme solace to the hearts of the pure devotees. So such a prayer, please protect me, and dear Lord, please accept me as your own. Such a prayer, as well as the prayer to obtain Krishna as one's Lord and Master, is the supreme solace to the hearts of the pure devotees. And this is known by them as Goptrite Varanam, that is, embracing the Lord's guardianship. Oh, my guardian, my Lord. Because it expresses one and the same ideal as unconditional surrender, Goptrite Varanam, embracing the Lord's guardianship, is accepted as the chief of the 6 limbs of surrender. And you've all just attended the Sharanagati course and can immediately tell me the 6 limbs of surrender, but I won't ask you now because we don't have time. All right, so now the very next verse, the aphorism, Guru Maharaj is making this point. Appearing as his own devotee, the Supreme Lord himself prays for refuge. And you all know that Sanskrit verse now. It is Ayi nanda-tanuja kiṅkaraṁ patitaṁ viṣame bhavāmbudhau kṛpayā tava pāda-paṅkaja sthita-dhūlī-sadṛśaṁ vicintaya. And you know the translation, so I'm going to go on to the aphorism of the next one because we are trying to keep everything flowing without speaking too fast. Excuse me, translators. And now, so the introduction to the next verse is Savasad guna vigraha atma prado harir eva goprit vena varanniyaha. But Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, only the self-giving, giving himself, the self-giving Lord, Sri Hari, the supreme good, should be petitioned for guardianship. Only the supreme Lord, the supreme good, should be petitioned for guardianship. And you can do homework to read what the verse is that comes after. But then the next verse, Guru Maharaj is saying, translation, the lotus feet of Lord Krishna are the umbrella to vanquish the suffering of his surrendered souls and shower nectar upon them. So this is a very special umbrella. We're in London, and everybody, if you ever see London depicted in a movie or something, it's always black taxi and rain. and people with black umbrellas as well. So anyhow, an umbrella. So this is a special umbrella. It's an umbrella that vanquishes suffering. So suffering is due to fallenness, due to our karma. But this umbrella also, it has inside it something special that rains down nectar upon those surrendered souls. So it's stopping the rain and it's giving some blue skies and sunshine from underneath it. It's stopping the suffering and it's giving from underneath it nectar. So it's a special umbrella. So do homework and find out what that umbrella is. But it's it's the nectar of the surrendered souls, those who are accepting Krishna as their guardian. The umbrella, souls, and showering upon them nectar. Jai. And this umbrella is available. Just follow what Srila Guru Maharaj is teaching us day by day, what Srila Gurudev is teaching us day by day, what Srila Prabhupada is teaching day by day, what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us for 8 days. No, but he's teaching us day by day, as we are constantly reading, and everything we're getting is this current of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, the next verse, introduction, I got to keep moving. That is, for the disturbed soul who is flogged by his 6 enemies, lust, greed, anger, etc., then only the shelter of the lotus feet of his natural master awards him immortality in fearlessness and sorrowlessness. So only the lotus feet of our dear master I'm sorry, I just missed the words. Lotus feet of his natural master. And you see in this verse of the Siksastakam, then Mahaprabhu, as a devotee, is expressing to Krishna, I am your eternal servant. It's the natural position to be. And then here, Guru Maharaj continuing that theme. Hare Krishna. So only the lotus feet of his natural master awards him immortality in fearlessness and sorrowlessness. So all fear, all sorrow. Yes, thank you for turning off that very noisy fridge. Okay, I know it's doing service, but it can keep cool for a few minutes while we are in a class. And while anyone's giving a class, actually, it's a good thing to turn it off. All right, and just 1 or 2 more, because we're trying to cover the ground. Next, Srila Guru Maharaj is saying after this, so keep these all kind of step. Guru Maharaj is saying, a realization of the fact that the surrendered soul who discovers his eternal identity and denounces his perversity caused by the association of lust, anger, greed, madness, delusion, and hatred. 6 big enemies. So one who discovers his eternal identity and denounces all of those nasty things, oh God, this leaf is living, then he is rescued forever from all evil pursuits. He is rescued by the devotional service of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna. And then one more. This is the last of the series, which I'm giving you these statements, which are backed up with the quotes that come after, which is your homework, part of your homework. The expression of anguish in the suspense of delay in achieving the shelter of Lord Krishna. We haven't got a shelter yet, but we know it's a shelter. So expression of anguish, oh dear, the big oh dear, by one who realizes such shelter to be the only good fortune. Hare Krishna. So anyway, Prapanajivanamritam is absolutely complementary to all of the scriptures, in fact, and especially for our study of the Siksastakam. All of those verses are here, they're here, but they're here in Shri Shri Prapanajivanamritam, and heading up the nectar in the lives of the surrendered souls, positive and progressive immortality. Believe it, it is. We need to participate and do to find out, and not just to read books and not do. So we are here in this world under the guidance of our masters, Srila Gurudev, Srila Guruma, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, following their directives of day by day practical devotional service. Hare Krishna. Karma. Anyway, different aspects to this verse, and of course there's quite a lot there because Mahaprabhu has given it to us. But we do need to wake up to the reality of our present situation, not blame any environment for our circumstances. It's only our own karma that's brought us here. But not to dwell on, oh, I want to get clear of my sins. Let that be. That's my own responsibility, what I've done. I must serve my time. But really, our necessity is to be instated in even the very lowest position as a servant of the Lord, and this example of just a speck of dust in that plane at your lotus feet, that is my aspiration. So here we are. And yes, okay, we do have some other quotes, etc. I can't actually see the clock also, interestingly enough. Oh, we're early. Okay, can I read something from Srila Gurudev? We've been reading from Srila Guru Maharaj. So it's a quote really because this question comes up, and now if we ask for questions, often it comes up. But karma and seva, what is difference, karma and seva? So I'd just like to read a few words, a short quote, and it's excerpt 3 for the translators on our secret sheet. Excerpt 3. And I'll try to read slowly, but maybe you already got assistance from the digital inventions to help you translate it. It's from affectionate guidance, Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisundar Govinda Maharaj saying, karma and seva, that is action and divine service, are identical from the external perspective. Bhakti yoga and karma yoga are the same, apart from one thing, and that is the inner mood of the practitioner. The inner mood of the practitioner. Washing pots, doing the gardening, fixing the roof, doing all the things which we see devotees are doing. But they're doing the same down here is the roof mender, over here is the gardener will do your gardener for 20 euros an hour or 20 whatever pounds an hour, etc. But bhakti yoga and karma yoga are the same apart from one thing, and that is the inner mood of the practitioner. The inner intention is all important. Is the all important differentiating factor. What result is going solely to the Lord? What result is going solely only to the Lord and not to the jiva soul, that is called bhakti yoga. When all one's work will be accredited to the account of Krishna, then that is bhakti yoga, devotional service. And when the result of one's work is credited to the account of the jiva soul, then that is karma yoga. Then 4 words from Gurudev. It is very simple. There you are. All your questions answered. It is very simple. And then, as we've been saying so often, then Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, they're giving a statement and then giving a quote. Then the quote, many of you know, Yat karoshi, yat ashnashi, yat johoshi, dadashi jat, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva mat arpana. Quote, whatever you will do for me, so this is Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. You are all expert in Bhagavad Gita. You have attended the 20-week course which ended yesterday. And really, everyone was happy, and Devashish Prabhu was happy. We are happy that everyone is happy. And that course there, you will have no doubt heard, and I've heard the whole course, by the way, but I don't remember if you heard it, but I'm almost certain that he will have quoted this verse there, and quote translation, whatever you will do for me, Krishna speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, whatever you will do for me, you will not be responsible for any reaction that you accrue from that. So then, saying whatever you eat, whatever you do, whatever austerities you do, you offer to me. Don't worry about any reaction. Then Srila Gurudev saying in his words, karma is giving reaction. So this whole point about karma is causing us to take a birth, to take our next birth according to our activities in this life. And sometimes our activities in this life, that reaction comes quickly in this life. But so much is waiting to come for the next life and the next life. And we do not know what we did in our last life or the life before or the life before that. And sometimes Srila Gurudev was asked about somebody who passed away, that what will be their future? And Gurudev didn't always say, oh, they've gone to heaven, they've gone to Goloka, etc. Didn't always, special cases, then Gurudev has said like that. But in general, his answer was that we cannot see what is coming to take its demand first. The good things a person has done, coming to take this demand and give them some good birth in their next life, or the bad things done intentionally or unintentionally. You're driving your car, you run over a dog. It's not good. That's bad karma, but you didn't do it on purpose. But that's waiting for you to get run over. Whatever it may be. If something is waiting there. So in other words, we cannot be karma free. And there is the negative side, as well as we all like to think of the positive side. Oh, I did this. I deserve to go to heaven for a long, long time. So our karma is working in this world unavoidably. But all of this, it dwells on people's minds. And most of the Veda is trying to give us some relief from our karma. But Mahaprabhu's only focus is not the karma side. It is that we want entrance into the land of seva, where there is no karma. Karma, Guru Maharaj describes, all karma is sin. Anything we do for ourselves, good or bad, if it's for me, it's sin. Only the healthy activity and use of anything is for Krishna. And this is bhakti. And so we do not want to continue within the sinful world, which is me-centered. We want to enroll in this guardian family, the guardian ruled family. There is a chapter in one of the books called The Guardian Ruled Family. But here we are, to embrace the Lord's guardianship with this attitude given by Mahaprabhu in this 5th verse of the Siksastakam. Hare Krishna. And a little bit more, if I can. Really, we're here to not hear my words. We're always trying to direct you to where the words are coming from. And here some direct words. For the translators, the verse excerpt number 4 is from the Golden Staircase, a little bit less often read book. But these small books, they've got treasures within them, for sure. I mean, they are all treasure. They're small treasure books. Part of the infinite is infinite, etc. So anyway, Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, and this is, yes, excerpt number 4, a devotee of higher order must not have any prayer to absolve me from sin. Oh, please clean me from my sin. The first-class devotee will pray, whatever I have done wrong, I am ready to suffer for that, to the farthing, where in England, where the farthing used to be the smallest coin, penny, half a penny, quarter of a penny, the farthing. Whatever I have done wrong, I'm ready to suffer for that, to the farthing, karma, the reaction for that. But my prayer is only that I may get a drop of nectar of the favor of Krishna. That's my only prayer, is to get a drop of nectar. Nectar. What was the recipe for nectar? Condensed milk, sugar, candy, and camphor. Mm-hmm. That's it. Something in this material world for all you cooks and connoisseurs of taste. Mm-hmm. But as an example, to show what wonderful things are there. Nectar, what is nectar? It's actual nectar from Krishna is much more than that. But we can't think of much more than that just now, especially after mentioning it. Sugar, condensed milk, sugar candy, then camphor mixed in. But anyway, nectar, our prayer. But my prayer is only that I may get a drop of the nectar of the favor of Krishna. Krishna's favor is nectarian. That should be the prayer of a real devotee. And we want to be real devotees. Really, we want to be real devotees. We don't want to be half-hearted. If we're half-hearted, what will be? 8,400,000 species if we want to mix things up. We want to be a real devotee. Our aspiration is this. But that capacity, that nectar to do the devotion activity, that's going to come by the grace of the Lord and the devotees. Every day, twice a day, we're singing Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya. And what are we asking? A drop of mercy for what? That I may have the strength to avoid the offenses, to avoid all offenses. When we are offenseless, then we can taste nectar. But give me the strength, saying there. We need strength by ourselves. We are not able to do anything, but the strength of the devotees, the strength of the Lord, which He's distributing through His devotees. Then this we are praying for. And then comes the wake-up call about what kind of bodies we could get. Pashu, Pakshi, Hoye, Taki, Svarge, Va Niroye, Tava Bhakti Rahu, Bhakti Vinoda Hridoye. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur is giving this exemplary prayer. And Guru Maharaj is not quoting word by word, but he's saying, according to my karma, I may be a bird or a beast. I may be a worm or an insect. I may be in heaven or in hell, but I don't care about that. According to my own karma, let me suffer accordingly. But my prayer is, let me not be devoid of the favor of Krishna. Let me get that. I want his grace. I want devotion for him. Only devotion. That is all I want. Whether I have to enjoy the result of my good works upstairs, in heaven, or I have to suffer for the misdeeds of my previous life and go to hell. I don't care to get out of that. As a result of my karma, I shall have to suffer or to enjoy. But I don't care about that. My prayer is not to remove, or my prayer is not to remove the reactions to my sins, to take away my good merit or bad result. But my prayer is only that I may obtain pure devotion independent of these two, enjoyment or suffering. Well, I could actually happily keep on read more, but I think the message has come across in some way or another in different ways. So this is a wonderful prayer, praying for that entrance into the land of service. As you can see the structure of what Mahaprabhu is giving, now we've come to this plane where we can hanker simply for service and just understand where we are in this, where we are to go, how to go. Three things, and this is all taking shape. I was going to say materializing, but realityizing before our eyes. So these are a few thoughts about these verses, and again, we can say the golden volcano of divine love, the Shri Shri Prapana Jivanamritam. They are super treasures to be read, reread, re-tasted. Mahaprabhu himself is tasting these eight verses. Mahaprabhu himself is tasting that. So this is not for reading once. And directly Gurudev said, on more than one occasion, but it is, I think, in a book somewhere, the actual words where Gurudev said, the books of our mat are not for reading just once. They're for continuous reading. And we are doing that. And then bit by bit by bit, it's surprising how much is there. And as we reread, retaste, as Mahaprabhu is retasting these 8 shlokas, then it is, they say, like an example is given, like the Chandan in India, and during Chandan Yatra and the very hot time in India, the ladies, generally it's the ladies, I don't know why not the men. We've seen men do it too, yes. But I've seen rows of ladies sitting there with a sandalwood stick, the chandan, and they have the rough stone, and they grind, 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 grind. And they're making the chandan paste, sandalwood paste. And they're making this for cooling the deities, and then that prasadam cooling the devotees. They're rendering service in this way. But the more you put your muscles into grinding, 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 the more fragrance comes out. So as we are going, repeating, repeating, repeating with these topics, and more fragrance, more things are coming out. Okay, these are my words just now. And yes, I'm told always question time.
Question time.
And I think we've got questions online and
Yes.
here perhaps.
This Maharaj one has come through online. It says the verse 5 does not ask for a grand position or even immediate liberation, but rather to be seen as a humble particle of dust.
Yes.
And also considering this deep prayer of what you were just saying about, praying that one may be a bird or a beast and live in heaven or in hell, these things. What does true humility feel like when applied to our daily spiritual practice?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Well, feeling is going to be different, isn't it? No one's got the two exact same feelings. But we know that if we can practice humility, the more successful we are, the more we are going to be somewhat fulfilled in our practice of devotional life, because we are inviting the powerful to come to our powerless life. But in daily life, we can say, I will remember Srila Gurudev saying, it's the only way to continue in your daily life, even materially, with all the obstacles that come in everybody's life, with humility, tolerance, giving honor to others, and not wanting honor for oneself, and oneself to chant continually Hare Krishna. So our humility is related to the chanting, and not just I'm humble, I'm humble, I'm humble. And so that humility is linked to our chanting, and as we heard explained two classes ago, as much as we are in actual and really understanding how tiny and really insignificant we are compared with Krishna, then we should chant Hare Krishna and really understand that every circumstance, the difficulty from this side, that side, from relatives, whatever it may be that's happening, financial things, physical things, insurance, this, and all kinds of things take place, the bank trying to take the house, all these things. Then whatever it is, we are tiny, Krishna is there. We must be humble to the circumstance. The more we can rely on Krishna, that his hand is behind everything for our correction, we're in the correctional facility, then we must feel that we are at least on the right path. We're in the channel. But the peculiar thing is that somebody who is actually humble can't even tell that they're humble. Take somebody outside to recognize, oh, you dealt with that very humbly, when one may think oneself, no, not humble. But how does one feel if one is humble in daily life? At least you're trying and we're on the right path. But remember, humility is in relation to the Lord and the devotees. And we had a circumstance in one of our temples where, in India, where the naughty boys can rule certain areas, and the naughty boys were, they called gundas in West Bengal, in Bengal. Anyway, you basically have to negotiate with them. They're doing their duty to try to get money out of you. But in order to keep some harmony in the environment, your duty is, well, we'll keep some harmony in the environment, but not at too much cost. And then one of our sweet, humble devotees, was just being absolutely humble in this context of not giving any money to them. Everything is Krishna's, no question of negotiation. And then in the night, they came and they smashed the windows of the ashram. These things happened. And Gurudev was not happy with the devotee when this happened. Maybe Saraswati knows about this also firsthand. I was there. Maybe Saraswati was there. It was quite some time ago. Well, everything is becoming quite some time ago in one sense. But it wasn't the last part of Gurudev's presence. And Gurudev was not happy. And he said, when it is to do with temple, all the temple property, etc., then we must show some strength to protect the property. Gurudev, he gave an example that the cobra, he goes along and he puts up his hood, and some of you come across a cobra. It's a little frightening because you don't know what he's going to do. And actually in Africa, they have spitting cobras, which are, they spit and they act. Anyway, long story, I shouldn't mention it. But they do spit to your eye. They spit at what shines, and that goes in your eye, and that poison gets you. And so in some places in Africa, actually you wear a shiny belt. So if you come across at night, they see that shiny belt and they spit at the belt instead of your eye. But anyway, point is, cobra, he raises his hood, and it is fearful when a cobra is going on, and then you, by accident, you come in, but he's doing this. But Gurudev said, but the cobra raises his hood, but he's not biting everyone. He's not going, he doesn't really want to bite everyone, but he's raising his hood and putting some fear. And Gurudev said, the devotees must be like this with the gundas. They raise their hood, they'll do something. Not you have to bite every time and then go out and get the sledgehammer or something. But so, again, this humility question has to be taken in context. But humility, tolerance, giving honor to others, yes, thank you for asking, because this gives us an opportunity to say what Srila Gurudev said practically every day, multiple times a day, very often. And it was always living. Maybe we can't make it feel living, but Gurudev made it feel living, that really this is our necessity to chant the holy name. And this has come before, verse 3 comes before 5, which is where we're coming to. And maybe tomorrow we can just give a little summary of how the verses have come together. But when we chant with the proper attitude, then we are setting ourselves up so that we are being prepared for this entrance into the higher world. Chanting with the proper attitude, not wanting any material benefit by our chanting, but only our service attitude. And not wanting any, now this verse, any cleansing from my past karma. It's not that I'm trying to chant to get something in the future. I also don't want to get cleared of my past karma. Only the prayer is to be even remotely connected in the smallest insignificant position, but in service to you, my Lord, and no other intention. This, I hope, has come through today. But it is very good that we're reminded to say this verse, express this verse, because it's of humility, tolerance, giving honor to others without wanting honor for oneself, and to constantly chant the name of Krishna, because this is the necessity throughout. It's not, oh, we know that, now we're going to make our prayer, but we're going to be aggressive and this, that, and the other. We have to keep this constantly with us. And I wish I could tell you more clearly about the feeling of being humble. Everyone gets tests. That's why we're in the correction house. And we fail the test sometimes, but we must learn from them. And humility isn't only outward, as everything Guru Maharaj is expressing to us always, and Mahaprabhu and all of our guardians, that is, we need to do everything sincerely from inside. It's not just an outward show. And our channel of questions on my right is ready with another question.
Yes, and we still have a question from Bhuvana Sundari Didi from a few days ago that might be relevant in this case.
Bhuvana Sundari Didi of Brazil, she is here just now? We hope. Oh, now I'm looking at the screen and seeing you all. I'm going to get really distracted if I look here. Yes. I can start waving at the devotees too. And I hope you can see who's here. I don't know who looks after the controls, but we have a beautiful gathering of devotees right here with us. Everybody is beautiful. All beautiful-hearted, sincere souls. Yes, the beautiful souls. Thank you for showing the devotees. You know Srila Gurudev, Sometimes he's giving like big classes, sometimes smaller. But he would like, and the devotees so often taking some picture of Gurudev or video of Gurudev. Gurudev liked that people would go behind him and with his camera or with another camera and share with it, they take a photograph from behind him to see who's there. And so sometimes you may see me there behind Gurudev because, and looking like, why is filming from behind? It's for Gurudev. And he put them on his computer and he would look at the devotees. He was very happy. He liked to see the devotees. Jai Gurudev. And Gurudev can see you all now, both here and he can see you online. Yes, Hare Krishna. Oh, Ramananda Prabhu of London and Latvia and Germany is with us too. He's done so much for the electronics, the magic electronics of the ashram. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, we can ask the question and then send her a recording to this session. So she's saying, how do we tolerate injustices suffered by those close to us? It is easy to tolerate them when they happen to us, because humility and an understanding of samsara leaves us to abandon the pursuit of justice for ourselves. But how do we bear seeing a loved one suffer injustice at the hands of someone who is dear to us?
Okay. So that could be heard clearly, right? I don't need to repeat.
Yes, and they have the text in
and you have the text in the chat box, I'm told. And the clear answer is, please give them Krishna consciousness. If you can give them even some start in Krishna consciousness, so they can see about karma, about this terrible ocean of birth and death that we're in. It doesn't mean it's just terrible when you die and terrible when you're born. All sorts of things happen between the starting point and the end point of this life, what to speak of after you leave this body, get assigned your next body, and then go through your next life, and the one after, and the one after. So really the perspective of our life, what is coming, which is good and bad, we need to take out from the direct local perspective, and only really someone who is really God conscious, if not Krishna conscious. If someone is God conscious, then they can understand something about, I am not the victim, I am only the victim of my own karma. And Guru Maharaj says, we should never consider ourselves to be a victim. Now, Bhuvana Sundari, you're mentioning that, yes, for myself, we can adjust because we know that this is how things are. We've just been hearing also in this very talk today, because of my karma, I'm in this situation. So it's helping you, it's helping us to understand our own unfortunate situations. So you help others to understand too, by helping them with some God consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the solution. Krishna consciousness, the origin of all God conception consciousness. Krishna consciousness is being given freely. It's the land of beauty, love, and charm, everything. And our practice of Krishna consciousness will destroy all misery of this world. But we can understand that. We are trying to understand that when it applies to ourselves, because we're hearing this from our masters. We're hearing it from the books, we're hearing it from the audios, we're hearing it from being with them, so many things. So that medicine, we know, is helping us to deal with the world. So help your friends to deal with the world too. And according to their capacity to receive some installment, then give some installment. And one good installment is rasgullas that have been offered to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, we know in particular, he gave prasadam to people. So prasadam is magical, and there are so many magical stories, but really make prasadam. Make the rasgullas for Krishna. Make them for Krishna. Offer them to Krishna. That prasadam. Prasadam, quality prasad you give to your relative or your friend, your close friend.
Krishna's bullets.
Krishna's bullets. Well, a bullet sounds a little harsh. Maybe Krishna's magic. Okay, I can't think of a good expression just now. Prasadam rasgullas. That sounds pretty sweet to me. Pretty good expression. And this, so an injustice is being done to someone who is your close friend, and therefore you are also feeling very concerned for that. Most of you know perhaps that maybe last Sunday, we were in the hospital. We went to the hospital to be with our dear devotee in the hospital. And in the hospital, there is another kind of evidence. I mean, injustice, we're probably assuming someone's cheating them or persecuting or something. But in the hospital, we can feel that somebody who's close, the relatives to someone who's suddenly sick, got broken legs and all sorts of things that are in the hospital, suddenly they have much compassion for their situation, the physical pain. But similarly, when we have somebody close to us who's got emotional pain, if you like, if they're feeling they're a victim to unjust circumstances, then that is also a reminder to us that we need Krishna consciousness. And interestingly, in the hospital, in general, people approach, when you're wearing something, people approach us who probably wouldn't approach us. And they're sincerely asking things about life and death and prayer, etc. So also, when there is emotional pain, difficulty, then we must also understand that it is similar, that we need Krishna consciousness. We need to wake up that this is not our home, and we need to get the clue, though, the understanding that we do have a home, which is beautiful, sweet, loving, eternal, all these things. So the positive we want to introduce, and just to say, oh dear, is not really going to help too much. And we are sorry that your family member or friend has got that. It's not that devotees are heartless, rather the opposite. We want them to get relief. The only relief, and we will find this repeated again and again and again, is to take sincerely to Krishna consciousness. Krishna is wonderful. He's come as Mahaprabhu to distribute entrance to his own land, which is so sweet, beautiful, charming, loving, eternal, everything. And so really, when we can get some close experience of a friend who's suffering in body and mind, whatever it is, then it's even more urgent that we should try to share with them something we know, and then we can spread that to others. When you see people, sometimes we're in a waiting room with so many people sitting there, and I've sat looking at the people and thought, everyone here, not so long ago, I'm sitting in the airport departure before the gate. There's maybe, 200 people are sitting there for different flights or just one flight. A lot of people are sitting there. And you see, look at anybody, and you think, well, if I know that person, if they're my neighbor or something, we'd want to share something with them. So similarly, Krishna knows us all. He wants to share something good with everyone. So we'll try to be an agent for that, for people we do know and people we don't know. But if we meet, we would know. Krishna meets them all. He knows them. Hare Krishna. Sorry, I was told I'm speaking too fast again. Translate the steam coming out of the translators. Thumbnail on the screen, they told me. Hare Krishna.
Conclude with kiṅkaraṁ.
Oh yes, oh yes, there are clocks, etc. And for some it is also gently late. And as you now know, we have a question from
Vigneshwari.
Oh, Vigneshwari, you didn't put up your hand. I saw a hand in the back. I thought it was Navasundari with a question, Navakishori, sorry, with a question, because she was putting up her hand for something else, it seems.
Hare Krishna. So while I'm doing my household works, my mind always says, finish as soon as possible, whatever. But how can I develop the mood to Krishna instead of thinking something other than while washing vessels or something? I'm thinking something unimportant things, and I couldn't think Krishna properly. How to develop the mood every time, every activities.
Well, if it wasn't that I'm put in this chair as a class giver today, I would pass over this question to somebody like Kumkum Devidasi, who has a lifetime of experience of cleaning and washing and bringing up children, and all children were babies, including ourselves. But I can just simply say, it's a lifetime of practice. And whatever circumstance we are in, if we're a mother, if we're looking at our job, our duty is being a housewife, then we will do our duty and try to remember Krishna always. And may not be that you're always wanting to finish everything soon, but you can do things and remember Krishna. And everybody knows that I generally listen to something while doing laundry. I'm quite happy if the laundry takes longer to do sometimes. I finished the laundry, now I have to stop listening. So some way to adjust your life. But this is as a housewife. You're a housewife, but somebody else, they're a mother and an accountant. Somebody else is this, that. Everyone has got a life to lead, and really to put into practice all these things we're hearing from Bhagavad Gita, from Sharanagati, from Siksastakam, and from all of these, from Upadeshamritam, all of these series, plural series, not sure, but all these series of programs, we are hearing things in order to put into practice. So try putting the things that you hear into practice as much as possible. And everything is recorded. You can hear it later, and you can hear it again. You can hear Bhagavad Gita. You can hear the Bhagavad Gita classes. You can hear so many things again and again to keep reminding us of what we are doing in this world, which is changing our consciousness. So for the fully householder, the recommendation, the advice is not only recommendation, the advice is consider your house as Krishna's house. Make it Krishna's home, and you are serving in his home. You serve Krishna. So your family, or the cleaning, everything, it's Krishna's family. Everything is Krishna's, nothing is ours. It wasn't your house 100 years ago. It wasn't your child 100 years ago. We're looking after our responsibilities as service this way. And the book, there is another book called Sharanagati by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And this is a great treasure and helpful for everyone. And he was a householder, not with one child, but 11 maybe, many children. And a responsible job, and composed so many things. And he is illustrating how we can have our household life in Krishna consciousness. This is the book Sharanagati. A great treasure. And not only is it this book, Sharanagati, it includes Srila Guru Maharaj's, Srila Sridhar Maharaj's commentary on Sharanagati, which is known as the Gentle Moonlight Commentary. In Bengali, Shri Laghu Chandrika Bhasya. Shri Laghu Chandrika Bhasya. Gentle Moonlight Commentary. How beautiful. We were mentioning maybe here a few days ago about, oh yes, when we were explaining about the first verse of Siksastakam, the moonlight, this analogy with the moonlight being cooling and soothing and nourishing. And this Sharanagati has that gentle moonlight commentary of Srila Guru Maharaj to help us along with the Bengali 50 songs, 50 compositions in Bengali by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, which is this book. And now I'm told...
Well, we still have one more.
Oh, now another question has come. Sorry, translators, there's a steam still coming from the thumbnails of the translators. Amazing, these screens, how steam comes out of them, isn't it? Yes.
We have a question from Rajni. Rajni. Hare Krishna and Dandavat to Madhusudan Maharaj and all dear devotees. In regards to Bhuvana Sundari Didi's question, what if our close ones are not ready to accept the medicines or therapy of Krishna consciousness? How can we still carry on to help them?
Wasn't it prasadam gulab jamans? Give them prasadam, let them maybe hear some background music or something if they're in the house, which is not just any music, but like maybe Srila Gurudev singing, or the devotees singing the temple kirtans, the kirtans given to us by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And yesterday, somewhere we were just very recent, was it yesterday we were chanting somewhere? Where were we chanting yesterday? Anyway, we were chanting, and we were chanting today, by the way, in the park, and very beautiful day with around 20 plus, certainly devotees, maybe 30. And we had a beautiful day chanting in the park and people taking photographs and listening. But people come, in the hospital, talking about hospitals, in the hospital too, then the people came and they were happy to hear the singing. They didn't know what we were singing necessarily. Some did, Hare Krishna. We were wearing our, devotional clothes, the ladies wearing saris, the men dhotis and tilak. But some of them, they commented about how happy they were to hear the singing. So somebody may not be a devotee and may think, oh, this is Hinduism, it's an ism, it's this, that, and the other. But they can hear the holy name. They can hear something which is auspicious. And honor some prasadam. You can tell them this is valuable, sanctified food, if you like. But otherwise, any suggestion from anybody here? Just give them a little bit now and again, because association does affect, really does affect people. If you have bad association, then you can really go the wrong way. If you have good association, you can really go the right way. So you be good association. So when you're with those persons, you try to give association as you can, but not to cross the line of the 9th offense. If you say something then to the very faithless and they react back and say something which you don't want to hear. But I think that if they're your friend and relative and you are sincere, you can give some very good things to them. Let them hear some good things. Let them taste some good things. Start their journey and see if they can help with something. We were in the park a few days ago, and one of our dear devotees here, it was very hot and really was having some trouble, kind of walked a little bit too far to return. But we got that opportunity to call the park management, and they were so helpful. It was Kumkum Devi Rasi. She won't mind I mention it, because she's very brave to go walking, and it was a little hot. But the park in it's a government borough park, the persons came with a little electric scooter thing and came. They were so happy to help. And they're just very good natured. They wonder, oh, why are you like this? Why you go walking off when you do too much or something? They were just happy to help. And after they dropped Kumkum off back at the car park with other devotees who went with her, then we are still walking. So they going back to their base, wherever they are. And then these two young ladies, and they were just so happy, and they're waving. And then we thought, they're on their way. That's their job. They're helping others, but they've helped a devotee. They're on their way, and they're with such good heart. So if you've got relatives and friends, see if there's something they can help for devotional life, whatever that may be. And Srila Guru Maharaj also points out this point, that be a good Vaishnava as best we can, because it's the best thing you can do for everybody. Polluting, now we know about pollution, factories polluting, that polluting from one place, pollution is spreading. And Guru Maharaj said, but there must be the opposite. From one place, unpollution, purification, pure things are spreading. That's from the Vaishnavas. So be a spreading of good things person as much as possible. And the best way to assist our family members is to be a good devotee. There is, as we said before, there's no real benefit in just saying, oh dear, oh I'm sorry, how are you feeling today? Here's some more morphine or something. That's not it's only a very temporary, like solace. Oh, my relative is thinking of me as something good. But we really want to do something good, best for everyone. Give them Krishna prema, love of God. That's what Mahaprabhu wants, and that's what we are trying to do in the mood of service. Not so that we become famous as a great healer of the people or anything like that, but we know where that is coming from. And the real healing is to get rid of all suffering. Be a devotee and share that with others. Okay, now we have run over time. And the devotees have brought cartels. They gave me some cartels. No? I thought I was given some cartels. Anyway, devotees have brought cartels. And somebody somewhere has a mridanga. It's on the table. And so, I was told, I should say now, right? They told me, okay. I was told my duty is to introduce now the classes, and at the end, whatever opposite of introduce the classes. But so, Jai Srila Gurudev. Why Jai, by the way? Because it's not us. We are bringing you to the teachings, the pure current of Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. Ki Jai, all glories, the Ki Jai, all glories. To Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridharadev Goswami Maharaj. Ki Jai. To Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Ki Jai. And they're all bringing us, they are bringing us the main current, the distribution of Krishna prema, love, joy, eternally, all the best things you could ever understand or even not understand, of Bhagavan, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Ki Jai, who is giving us that intact message of Bhagavan, actually, another Bhagavan conception, Bhagavan Sri Chaitanya Dev Ki Jai. and of Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, and Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, or Rupanuga Sampradaya ki jai, and all the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, all the many assembled devotees ki jai, and Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.